Hi, self-awareness. I am your host, Rose, and today is June the 3rd, 2019, and I just want to thank all of you again. I appreciate your support and your love and your energy. Thank you. So today we want to talk about what happened. Um, what are your divine gifts? Because everyone was incarnated with spiritual gifts. Some people call it talent, and we all have it. And the main thing I want to discuss today is divine gifts that most people don't believe they have, because we are spiritual beings in a physical vessel having a human, what we call a human experience. So they make movies showing you, like The Matrix. Neo represent every one of us. He had to get to that level where he started to believe he had the power. And this is what you are going to get on your journey to start developing your power from within. And there are so many different gifts people call intuition, ESP, mediumship. It's so many different labels for different aspects of these different gifts. I have a combination of quite a bit: intuitive, telepathic, promote remote viewing, mediumship, precognition. I was born remembering on an unconscious level some of these things because, like I explained to you on one of the shows, I always had a great intuition about most things. And what I keep telling people, don't call me for no psyche reading, because that's not what I do. That's not what my gifts are for. Because when a lot of people call me about personal issue, like, is my boyfriend or my husband or my wife cheating? In most cases, they already know. But they want me to tell them these things. So if things don't go the way they want it to go, now they can blame me. That's why I don't do psychic readings. But if the spirit reveals something to me, the higher self, most high, prime creator, and telling me to share it or to tell it to this person, I have to be very careful how I present things to people, especially if I have a vision about something that's not good. And I spoke about some of the things that I did, had visions about, and I warned people, and it changed the outcome for good. So I'm an empath, and I want you to do your own research. All of this information is available. They can't even hide truth anymore. And it's been a while. They're not really hiding it anymore. They're putting it right in our faces, and most time it goes over the person's head. Because as long as we're on that low frequency, that's going to keep your mental state, which is your consciousness, on that low vibration. And I explained to you and I showed you the chart. Everything vibrates at different levels. We are here and we started down there, and the whole journey coming to the third dimension is to grow, learn, and you're really remembering who you are and what's your purpose? What is your mission for being here at this particular time on this dimension? That's powerful. And everybody got the power. So I just want to give you a little more about some of the visions that I had. And this one, well, first, let me explain something about males and females. They will spend most of their time and their money, especially the men, developing muscles to look a certain way to impress females. And you have the females who spend their money and their time with so much cosmetic surgery, even putting their life on the line to impress males and other people, because people want to feel validated. They want to feel important. They want to impress people. But they don't in and understand you are perfect. You are divine. You are beautiful. You are handsome. You are powerful. You just forgot. So if you can spend money with all this BS, you can spend money in spiritual books, CDs, DVDs, workshops, lectures that's going to be beneficial to help you evolve back into your divine self and power. Because what you focus on expands. That's why we have so much negative things going on this dimension, because we stay on that low vibration of violence, anger, hate, jealousy, resentment, envy, and the main problem, no self-love, because that's the answer to all the problems. If everybody learn and tap back into the love that the Creator put inside of us and be, because that's who you are, love, the whole system will change. So let me just go back to, I had a vision, and this was in the late 90s. And in this vision, I was in the car with this lady and two young children. And we had an accident. And in the accident, everybody was killed. It freaked me out. I had no clue what was being revealed to me. So I was doing a fashion show at Mark Ballroom in Manhattan, and this lady who was modeling in my show, she was paying me to rent my clothes. That's really what the whole thing. She was having the show, but she was renting my fashion because I did a lot of fashion rental to present her fashion show. So the agreement was they paid the rental fee for the clothes and provide transportation. So what she did, she said instead of paying for a cab for me and my model and to bring the fashion, she will pick me up. And that's what she did. After the fashion show, we waiting around for her to drop us home. And my higher self kept saying, don't wait. Leave, get in a cab, and go. And I'm thinking, but that's going to cost me money. She's supposed to be paying for the transportation. And it was just so many things was happening that she just couldn't get it together. So I got tired of waiting around. So I told the model, let's go. And we got a cab. And we came home to the Bronx. The next day, the lady called me and told me that coming home, driving home from Mark's Ballroom, they almost had a terrible accident that they all could have been killed. And when she told me that, the vision came back clear as day. And my higher self told me if I would have waited and got in that car with her and her 2 grandchildren, we would have had that accident. And the outcome was not going to be good. By me not waiting, got a cab and came home, it changed that whole timeline. So this is what I'm saying. You have these intuition, you have these, we call them hunches. Some people have them in dreams. Some people have a lot of different emotion. I feel things. I can see things. I can hear things. And sometimes I don't get the whole picture. I get flashes of something. This is why I don't do reading. So, but we all have these powers. And another one, I was doing this wedding. I think it was 2001. And the young lady that I was doing the wedding dress and the bridesmaids for her wedding, when she came for one of her fittings, I started telling her about this vision I had. And I told her this family in this vision was planning this wedding. And they wind up planning a funeral all at the same time. And I gave her some description of the funeral arrangements and stuff. But I did not know it was related to a relative of hers that wind up had an accident and was killed. And everything that was revealed to me in the vision when I went to the funeral, I saw how the buildings was made. And this big church, I didn't even know had an elevator. But in my vision, they showed me the elevator. So some things can be avoided and some things can't. And this is why I don't like sharing too many things to too many people, because it makes them uncomfortable and fearful. And my saying is be aware, not fearful. So that was one, well, another one. And one of my ex, I woke up, but he can tell when I had a vision. He said, I just look different. Because my daughter and my best friend, they say when I have a vision, I sound different. And if I don't share it with them, they feel it was about them. I don't know how I sound, but they say I sound different, so they can tell when I had a vision. And I share it with them, but when it's concerning them, I do not tell them because I don't want them to stress out. I don't want them to worry about nothing if they can't change it. And I told my ex, when I woke up this morning, he said, "Oh, what did you see?" And I told him that his mother had cancer. She looked healthy, but I say, this is what was revealed. I don't make up things. So he said, "Well, what kind of cancer?" I said, "I don't know. I just was revealed to me she has cancer." And I told him if he want to talk to her about going to get, a checkup or whatever. And he didn't, because he didn't want her to think I was crazy. So he didn't tell her anything. Within 6 months, she was being treated for cancer. Within that year, she had made her transition. That was it. And another experience about having these divine power, because we are a vessel for Most High, because the Creator works through us. It's not me doing these things or knowing these things. It's just being revealed through me. And I was working at this expensive boutique in Manhattan. It was in the early 20s. I wrote about it in one of my books. Most of my experience I write about in all my books, and I have 5 now, and I give you more details. And this Jewish lady, I was the only one of color working there, and I do alterations for expensive clothing for her boutique. And she told me when I first was interviewed that her mother had made a transition about 5 years ago. And that was it. So about maybe 3 weeks, her mother started communicating with me. That really freaked me out. And I experienced deceased spirit channeling through me to tell a loved one something, or just to help them to cross over, almost like Ghost Whisper, the movie. And this young lady, my boss, her mother came to me and told me to tell her daughter she needs to heal. She had a lot of money, all the material things that everybody think gonna make you happy, but her mother say she's not. She's in a lot of pain, and it came from her childhood. So I, this lady gonna think I'm crazy. But the mother would not leave me alone. She said, "You got to tell her." So one day, I'm downstairs, and the boss and the manager and the salesperson was upstairs, and the husband, he did administration work, so he was downstairs on the computer. So I told the mother, first of all, I'm not telling her anything. This spirit jumped in my body. I know you saw the movie with Whoopi Goldberg, The Ghost, and I thought it was cute and funny, but it's real. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. So when I went upstairs to do a fitting, the boss was back downstairs. So I'm coming down the stairs. She's looking at me, and I'm looking at her. So when I got to the ground floor where she was, I just started hugging her. And she embraced it and she was hugging me back. And all of a sudden, she jerked back. I jerked back like, what happened? She didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But I realized later it was her mother. So the mother told me, you must tell her it was me. So I said, I'm not telling her this in front of none of these workers or her husband because they're going to call them to take me to Bellevue. I only been there 3 weeks, but her mother was really serious. And I finally did tell her. But I told the mother, you have to make sure nobody is upstairs or downstairs, wherever she was going to be, if you want me to tell her. But I give you all the details in the book. But the mother arranged it spiritually. Everybody was downstairs, and her mother was upstairs in the boutique. I went upstairs. She looked at me like, why are you, she didn't say, but I didn't call for her, where she's coming from. So I just told her, I said, listen, you may think I'm crazy, but I have to tell you this because your mother would not leave me alone. And she said, what, my mother? I said, yeah. I say, you remember when you came downstairs after we hugged and said it felt like your mother when she used to hug you? And she said, yes. She felt it. And I think she got a little uncomfortable with me being there because her mother was sharing things to me about her life that she did not want nobody to know. But her mother wanted her to heal because she had a dysfunctional childhood, like most of us, and she was carrying a lot of pain, and she watched her mother suffer and die from cancer. And even the mother, she told me herself, the boss, that the father was very abusive to all of them, the children and the mother. But all the details is in the book. And the next part of the show, I'm going to explain some things that you can do to help raise your frequency back to Godhead, the Most High, Yahweh, whatever people want to call it, the source, because it's all energy. And there's so many different visions I've been having over the years. And I even have laying of hands. I have touched people, and they say their pain went away. And I was surprised. But I talk a lot about the different experience with people. Even when I brought this puppy back alive, it really shocked me. But all the details are in the book. And I will continue because there's plenty of books, plenty of clips on YouTube, Google, so many articles that explain these things to you, how you can develop these gifts and stuff, and how to keep grounded and balanced, because that's what the man in the wheelchair and X-Man was doing with these young people, keeping them grounded and balanced as they activate this power so they don't misuse it and destroy themselves or the world. So stay tuned for the next show. I'll give you some things that you can do that I have practiced, and it works. And I want to thank you. And don't forget, September 1st, 2019, we're going to celebrate in nature my 19th anniversary of marriage to myself and my Earth Day. Thank you. The Creator in me greets the Creator in you. Thank you again.